Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, remember you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another AB Daily News with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 319. What your menu, coach? First of all, guys, big news. Expect a deal with Cole Caulfield. Secondly, of course, the Montreal Canadiens rumor. And finally, we're going to give you another update about the Memorial Cup 2023. But before we start, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show, and leave us a comment about this episode. And let's dive in and talking about the first subject of the day. Here we go, guys. Big development between Cole Caulfield and the Montreal Canadiens from Tony Marinaro, host of the Sick podcast, said yesterday, expect Cole Caulfield sign a contract of 7 or 8 years, and his salary cap is going to be under the Nick Suzuki contract. This is a huge news coming from Tony Marinaro from the Sick podcast. Why? Because this is going to be an amazing, huge deal for the Montreal Canadiens. The reason behind that, first of all, is because Cole Caulfield will be 29 or 30 years old at the end of his contract. Finally, the potential to do at least 70 to 90 points is going to be there during this longevity of his contract. Then, in the NHL, remember guys, every player score over 40 goals a plus the minimum they signed the contract are over $8 million. Most of them are between $9 to $10 million. So imagine if Cole Caulfield continues to performing the way he did last year. But this is a huge, big deal for the Montreal Canadiens. Two more things benefit the Montreal Canadiens. First, the NHL salary cap increasing. This year we're going to get between $1 million to $2 million, following by $3 million, following by another $3 to $5 million. So Montreal Canadiens, at some point, they're going to have a really good salary cap under if the best two forwards are under $8 million like Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. This advantage Montreal Canadiens, if ever this is happening between Montreal and Cole Caulfield, an agreement of 7 to 8 years and a salary cap under the Nick Suzuki term with the Montreal Canadiens. But before we leave, we invite you guys, leave me a comments what you think about this big news from Tony Marinaro, host of the Sid podcast, about the agreement could happen between the Montreal Canadiens and the players Cole Caulfield. Let's move on, guys, for my second subject of the day. I know, you like to hear from its friend Montreal Canadiens rumor, and again, I'm back with the Washington Capitals. What? Yes, we go a little bit more deeper. We heard a couple of days ago, possible Washington buy out Anthony Manta. I think there would be more benefit if they trade him. Imagine Montreal make a trade like this. First, Montreal get the 8th overall pick from the Washington Capitals and Anthony Manta. Then Washington get the first round pick of Florida, 31 to 32 overall for 2023 from the Montreal Canadiens. Secondly, they got Josh Anderson and Joel Edmondson with the retaining 50% salary cap for Edmondson. Why Washington can do that? First of all, they drop the salary cap on Anthony Manta, about $6 million. Secondly, they're not rebuilding, they're retooling. Imagine they get now Anderson, considered a top 9 player forward, possibly a top 6 with the Washington Capitals. And thirdly, they satisfied the left side of the defensive with a veteran like Joel Edmondson for only $1.7 million for the upcoming season. This could be very benefit for the Washington Capitals plus the pick of Florida. This is the price they have to pay if ever they want to let it go Anthony Manta, and they get two good hockey players like Anderson and Edmondson plus a first round pick from the Montreal Canadiens. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think? If you're Montreal, yes or no? If you're Washington Capitals, yes or no? Or you said yes for both teams, we have a deal. Leave me a comment about that trade. Let me know what you think about my proposal. Let's move on, guys, for my last subject of the day. My last subject, is the Memorial Cup 2023 week late. The last time we spoke, but we got a tiebreaker game, and Peterborough beat shock the Kamloops by winning on overtime and now they play in semifinal against the Seattle Thunderbird. And unfortunately for Peterborough, it was not good enough because the Thunderbird beat them by the score of 4-1. Now we got a finals between the Seattle Thunderbird versus the Quebec Remparts. Most of the experts predict already that final weeks ago. I thought the Seattle Thunderbird is going to win the Memorial Cup, but you never know. Quebec have a really good tournament, and we know the game between Seattle and the Quebec Remparts. Quebec Remparts beat the Seattle Thunderbirds during the preliminary round robin. I would like to hear from you. Who is the winner of the final Memorial Cup 2023? And take a note, the game is only Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. between Quebec and Seattle. This concludes, guys, all the subject we have on this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed, guys. 3 quick subjects for you for the episode 319. Before we leave, we remind you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave us a comment about this episode. And we wish you not only an amazing, great, blessing day, and remind you, you have greatness inside of you.